Hello, and welcome to the Horizon Academy in Germany. Before we start, I would like to introduce our Managing Director, Mr. Yoshihiro Oe, who will now say a few words to welcome you to our first virtual product presentation.
Thank you, Marisa. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Horizon Finishing Fast launch event. We hope all participants are healthy, stay away from COVID-19, and all your friends, family are well. We are all in a very difficult situation. And Horizon is also trying to get through this difficult situation. I believe same for you. Under this difficult situation, we are happy to we can supply some products, parts, and service to you and all other customers. Thank you very much for your continuing business with us. And thank you very much for your continuing communication with us. This is very important at this time. Past few years, we had a physical open house event called Finishing Fast. Unfortunately, this year, we have to decide to do a virtual or online event. But this is a great opportunity for us to communicate with you as a new way or a different way. We think after Corona times, we will continue to do this virtual online event in addition to physical event to communicate with you, our dealers, and all the partners. Horizon has been working for automation. Our focus was more for machine automation. Nowadays, most of our machines are automated for quick changeover, quick setup, to meet the demand for short run production, or even ultra short run production. In addition to machine automation, we are now focused on process automation. We believe this is a key to the future success of the printing company. Process automation is not just a machine automation. In the printing process, there is many processes, but we want to make each one of the process, especially finishing part, automated. For example, we had a unique event in Kyoto, Japan last year, which called Think Smart Factory 2019. In this event, we show from order taking, pre-press, press, finishing, and even delivery part to show the entire process automation. This event was held together with the major players in the printing industry, such as Canon, Ricoh, Konica Minolta, HP, Technow, Unkeler, and software companies, and so on. We were planning to show some of our process automation solutions at the Drupa, which was originally scheduled in June this year. Drupa has been postponed So we decided to show a part of our process automation as a launch event. In today's event, we are going to show new perfect binders, new 3-knife trimmers. Oh, sorry, new 3-side trimmers, and also IoT workflow solution. Even we show a robot solution too. I will let the detailed explanation about the products to our team, sales and product team. Once again, thank you very much for attending today in this unique virtual event. Please sit back, relax, have a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. Now, back to Marisa.
Thank you, Uo-san. Arigatou gozaimasu. Yes, a warm welcome once again. My name is Marisa Duch, and I'm a sales manager at Horizon GmbH in Germany, and I will, let's say, guide you through this virtual event. So like Uo-san mentioned before, the coronavirus has changed the world dramatically. So what was taken for granted yesterday may already be overtaken today. And as we are continuing to keep social distance, digital solutions became more important than before. So the word digital transformation has been a buzzword for the longest time. And right now, you and also we, of course, can literally see it happen on our day-to-day business. We at Horizon implemented web-based meetings and web-based product demonstrations. And of course, there are some advantages about, let's say, these type of new activities. So here, a large number of employees can participate, of course, you as our customer, but also Horizon specialists from service and sales can be connected as well. So also traveling costs are reduced and appointments can then be arranged at a short notice. And here we are today visiting you in your office for our first virtual or web-based product launch. So before we start, I would like to inform you that your microphones are disabled. So in case that you have, let's say, questions, the chat function is activated. So as a participant, you can use the chat to type in your questions, which we will then answer during the event. So what is waiting for you today? Let's start with a, let's say, quick showroom tour to give you an impression of where we are today. So I will switch the camera to my colleague, Mr. Sternmecke now, who's standing at the entrance of our showroom in Quickborn. So on 1,200 square meters, we have more than 25 finishing solutions ready to demonstrate. So on the left side, we start with a first product, which is the fold liner, a hybrid solution for stitch booklets. So now we are in our folding zone. So the, stitching zone. The fold liner combines the ASC 746B1 folder and the Stitch Liner 6000 saddle stitcher. So no additional offline folding is required with this system. So on the collator, multiply jobs or sheets can be inserted on top of the signature to get a higher number of page count. So our next product, if we then turn around, which is our, maybe the camera. I'm not holding the camera, but the cameraman, I think. Just keep on continuing walking to the next machine. Yes, so we have our Stitch Liner Mark III. So you can also see Mr. Uo is walking there. So the Stitch Liner Mark III is a fully automated saddle stitcher. So this system can produce a wider range of products such as A4 landscape. The system can be configured as a conventional collating system, so for flat sheets, or like shown here, we have a hybrid solution where our HOF high-speed feeder is connected for the pre-collated digital production. Now we are running a speed of 6,000 booklets per hour, which means that if you consider a 2-hour production, 12,000 booklets per hour. So to ensure the high productivity with only one operator on the stitch liner Mark III, we installed the Palamedes Gamma 502HO, which has a banding function in the end. So what does Gamma in this case stands for? The HO. HO stands for horizon. So the system shown here is a plug-and-play solution where all important signals are ready to connect both systems. So now we are coming to continue to walk to the left side, where we have our Stitch Liner 6000 digital, where we produce personalized and variable page count brochures coming from digital inkjet web print. So here connected to a Technow unwinder and cutter. But let's take a look also to the right. So here you can see the system once again. So we will continue to walk to our next system, which is the Smart Stacker. So the processing capabilities of this system are to cut, collate, and stack. So digitally printed sheets from B2 size. The Smart Stacker helps to increase automation for a faster, let's say, job turnaround and less waste, let's say, resulting in higher productivity. So the Smart Stacker can be implemented in a total JDF workflow, which then controls setup and operation. And example products of the Smart Stacker are, for instance, calendars, postcards, photo books, and many more. So now you can see on the left side, let's say the inkjet printed roll already running. So now we are entering our binding zone. And here we start with our first product, our flagship, which is the Smart Binding System. So we have a Hunkeler unwinder and a Hunkeler cutter, where we cut the web into pages. Then we fold signatures on a buckle folder into 8 and 12 pages. Then the signatures are stacked in our BBS 40, where they are pre-glued and finished to book blocks. So now let's maybe have a look of how much is the speed. So let's move the camera to our BBS 40. So we are now running a productivity of 770 books per hour. So it's approximately a speed of 150 meters. And then the books are pre-glued. So we are creating book blocks and then feed them on a book block feeder or with a book block feeder into our BQ500. Then the books are bound, let's say transported on a cooling conveyor, and then they go directly into our fully variable trimmer, which is the HT1000V. So this system is capable to produce short run and the book of one production. So we will continue our walk. So we're still in our binding zone. So we have several binders installed in our binding zone, starting from a 1-clamp binder up to a 9-clamp binder. So on the left side, you can see our CAPS 4000, which is also a hybrid solution. So you can, let's say, run conventional signatures with the gathering machine. Then they are fed into our CAPS 4000, transported on a cooling conveyor into our HD110. So this solution also is a hybrid solution. So together with our feeder CBF09, we can also load digitally printed book blocks on the conveyor. And the V in this case stands also for variability. So that means that SP09 can also run variable book production. So then we're taking our right, where we're coming to our last zone of our showroom, which is the folding zone. And here we have tabletop binders up to B1, tabletop folders up to B1 folders with, let's say, pallet feeder and a stacking device in the end. So, but I would like to start with today's topic. So we will spend some time in our binding zone. So we will show a smart binding concept solution, namely the high-speed feeder HOF in combination with a robot, and our 1-clamp binder BQ270. We will also present our new Ice Perfect binder BQ500, the new 3-side trimmer Ice Trimmer HT300, as well as another highlight, our cloud-based service IceLink. So what does IceLink actually stand for? IceLink stands for intelligence, integration, interaction, connection or connectivity, as well as efficiency. So precisely to say, IceLink stands for to make the production as efficient and smart as possible. So smart is the key to start with our first product presentation. When we say something is smart, that means that it uses the technology like automation to reduce setup times, and then to reduce touch points and overall reduce labor costs. So Horizon has been using automation for years to create finishing solutions that optimize the workflow for our customers. So starting with our first product based on our smart factory concept, we will showcase our BQ271 clamp binder with a feeding robot system, the integrated Omron TM5900, a collaborating robot, so-called cobot. So these robots are seen in the role of direct support of humans in production, where they perform, let's say, simple tasks or repetitive tasks. Example for these cobots as human support are the loading and unloading of machines. We are showing a solution today that loads book blocks into a perfect binder. So let's go live to the machine. So the machine is already producing, let's say, books. So here, digitally printed sheets are gathered into book blocks on our HOF high-speed feeder and then fed into a jogger. A built-in mark sensor reader enables the processing of variable sheet size or sheet count per book. So in addition, an optional barcode reader can be used for a, let's say, clear verification. So here you can see the stacker or the feeder. So we have a loading capacity of 60 centimeters. So the operator simply places the sheets into the feeder and then the production start. At the moment we're running, let's say, 47,000 sheets per hour, which means we are producing approximately 300 books per hour. But of course, this is depending on the sheet count. So the robot then accurately picks up the book and places it into the, let's say, perfect binder, where then the books are aligned and then the binding process starts. Safety system provides an invisible safety zone for the operator's, let's say, protection, because when the robot arm, of course, is in motion. So if you enter the zone, this will result in slowing down or stopping the arm's motion, depending on the situation. So we're now showing a configuration with a binder only, but of course the system can be connected to a trimmer as well. So this setup then shows an entry-level smart binding solution from cut sheet to finish book system with a small footprint. And there are many, let's say, other processes to be considered in a finishing factory that can be, let's say, automated in this way. So to show you only one solution and to start thinking about a smart factory and automation, this system can be a good start. So the system presented here and now is only the beginning of what will be state of the art in the future at Horizon. So talking about state of the art, let's move on to our next new product, which is the Ice Binder BQ500. So many thousands of companies worldwide produce with the Horizon Falkland, their perfect binder. We started with the BQ440, BQ460, BQ470, followed by the BQ480. And today the BQ500 is the 5th generation, which not only comes with a new design, but has been significantly improved in all aspects. And especially, of course, with the regard to the future, additional options about, I think I would say something later on, the BQ500 will definitely convince with its flexibility. My colleague Jacek Ducek will now show you, what makes the BQ500 so special. In other words, let's go live to the machine. So he's now running a A4 application, like I can see. So he's measuring the book block. So we run a variable book production here, then feeds the book block into the binder. After the books are leaving the binder, they are, let's say, stacked in our SS800, which is a stacking device where you can stack multiply books. Then the book blocks are transported into our elevator EL300, where they then, let's say, it's like a paternoster, so they are coming on a next level. And then these stacks are, let's say, fed into our new HT300. So just to show you how that works. So here you can see the lift is also changing the direction of the book so that the book blocks are then correctly fed into our new ice trimmer HT300, which is a 1-knife 3-side trimmer. So my colleague was running a variable production now. So, up to 735 books he's now producing. But yeah, Jacek, why don't you explain a little about the BQ500?
Thank you, Marisa. Hello together. My name is Jacek Ducek. I'm the product specialist for perfect binding and cutting at the Horizon GmbH. Yes, we are staying here at our new BQ500 ice binder in line with our new HG300 ice trimmer. And today I will show you a few functions about our new binder. The BQ500 has a cycle speed from 1,350 cycles per hour. That means a good operator can achieve 750 to 800 books per hour. We can produce books from 1 millimeter to 6.5 centimeters. The minimum size is A6 and the maximum size is 32 centimeters on 32 centimeters block size. Okay, we start with our first section here. Our book input section, so the operator here puts the contents into the machine. This station is the delivery station as well. So the books come here and the lift comes up and picked up the book block 5 millimeters from the spine and moves gently out of the machine. Then we drive the clamp drive over the milling station. Here we mill the book block with a combination tool, and therefore we open the paper fibers. The next station, the clamp moves over the glue tank. Here in the showroom, we have an EVA glue tank with a two-drum application system with a heated spinner roll. The BQ500 is available in the EVA solution, like here in the showroom, or with a PUR system. Then you must choose between a 2 kilogram or a 20 kilogram pre-melter. To remove this glue tank is very easy and possible in a very short time. It's only one screw to lose, and then you can move out the glue tank here. And with the help from the lift, what you see on the right side from the machine, you can move out the glue tank and, for example, make a changeover to a PUR job. You see here a PUR tank. Then you put in the new tank and warm up the machine. So we go back to the glue tank. After our spine glue tank, we have a downstream cycler unit as well with a two-drum application system. So we can define the starting and the ending point from the glue. We have a separate glue tank. That means we can choose two different types of glues. After the glue tank, the clamp moves to our nipping station. Here the fat cover is pressed to our book block. We pressed with a plate from below and two plates from the side to achieve a square book block. And at the end of the machine, we have our cover feeder. The cover feeder had a loading capacity from 15 centimeters. The benefit is here, the covers moves into the machine from above, that we have no weight on the covers and we avoid marks. When the cover moves into the machine, it's scored rotary by the scoring tools here. And these scoring tools and all the stations adjust fully automatically by a changeover. And what a changeover looks like, I would like to show you on the touchscreen. We make a changeover from A4 to A5. We go to our adjustment screen. So the first point is to measure the length from the cover. We have here 320 millimeters. Then we measure the width from the cover with 230 millimeters. Then the content. The length from the content is 225 millimeters. And the height is 160 millimeters. Okay, the next step is our glue application adjustment. So we can define here the starting point from the glue, from the spine glue, the ending point. We can open the wipers via touchscreen, and we can adjust all the heights from the roller, the first roller, second roller, and the scrape roller via touchscreen. Next step is the cycler unit. Here we can adjust as well the side glue start point, the side glue end point, and we can open the rear wiper, the front wiper, and we can adjust the side glue roller widthness. The last point is the overview. Here I can see what I have adjusted. When everything is okay, I press the button for the changeover. The machine tells me, please remove the A4 covers. I will do that. And then I can make a changeover. And this time I can fill in the A5 covers. And the machine is faster than me. The changeover is done.
Jacek, but in addition, of course, to the format and thickness, or of course, other factors must be, let's say, adjusted or fine adjusted to achieve, let's say, a good quality, especially when you produce, let's say, book on demand, considering the various materials in book block thickness, correct? How did we solve this?
That's correct, Marisa. For this reason, Horizon developed the so-called auto calculation system. You see that here on the touchscreen, according to templates, all settings are adjusted for the specific book block thickness. So that speed, glue application, nipping, scoring position, or much more are implemented fully automatically and optimally for each individual product. Depending on the material, templates can be created individually for customers' jobs. I can show that on one example here with the cycle speed. When we produce a book with 5 millimeters, the cycle speed goes up to 2. And when we immediately after this book, we produce a book with 1 centimeter thickness, the cycle speed go up to 6. And all these parameters are adjusted in the background automatically.
I would like to, let's say, recap, or what does that mean, considering, let's say, the output of the BQ500. So by showing the next PowerPoint slide. So here you can see what it means in terms of output. So if we produce a variable, let's say, range of 5 millimeter thickness difference from book to book, the BQ500 can easily reach 800 books per hour. And even with a variable range of 65, or let's start with 30 millimeters different from book to book, we can run 660. And with a variable range from book to book, we can still reach the speed of 500 books per hour. So like I'm showing here, the cycle speed in long run mode or short run mode is 1,350 cycles per hour. And like my colleague Jacek just mentioned before, a good operator can reach up to 750 to 800 books. So considering this part, in addition, productivity is increased for longer runs and short runs due to the reduced make-ready time and the improved system efficiency given by the very high degree of automation. So my colleague is, let's say, setting up the machine. So let's go live again.
Yes, what we will produce next is our A5 product here with our flap cover on both sides. I have already made a change over here, but to finish just this job, we come to our next highlight, the ice binder HD300, where my colleague Andreas Schoop is waiting for you.
Yeah, hello and welcome to our show. My name is Andreas Schoop and I'm responsible for our European showroom. And I will show you today the new ice trimmer HD300. We have this machine in line with our BQ500 ice binder. And yeah, let's start with the SS800. That's are the machines in between the system. So that is what my colleagues told you, that we have a stacking device unit here so that we can stack 3, 4, 5 books, for example. But in this time, when we make a change over to our flap cover job, we go book by book. That means we take out one book, feed it in our elevator, lift them up, and then we come to our cooling belt. In this configuration, we have only one cooling belt, but it's also possible if you need more space, for example, for PUR, so you need a longer cooling time. It's also possible that you can go with a curve to the left or right side. And it's also that you can install more cooling belts. On our cooling belt, it's also possible here in this area to load some book blocks by hand. So if you have some other books from other binding machine, so you can load it and the machine feed it in and will also cut your books. Yeah, in this inline version, we have a complete other infeed area. So we have at first, when we comes in, the possibility to say, okay, we want to read the barcode on the cover. That means we can read a 1D barcode or 2D barcode, and the machine is totally variable. That means you can move with a A4 book block inside the machine read, there's a A4 book, and the next one is a A5 book, and the machine make it automatically change over to A5. You have two possibilities for the HD300. So you can order this machine in the inline version. So that is what I have here. Or you can go with a standalone machine. That means we have another feeder here. So you can load the paper into the machine from the operator. And then we have a suction bar. And the suction bar take book by book, for example, in the machine. Or you can also stack the book blocks in the machine. The maximum height what we can stack and also cut it in the machine are 5.1 centimeters. And yeah, let's open the covers at first. So we come to the news first part in the machine, so that we have in the infeed section, thickness detection for the book blocks. That means when we feed in the paper to the 0 line, we have a back jogger and also this clamp. When they move the paper, for example, in the cutting area, before they clamp it, so they measuring the thickness. That's very important to have every time a good cutting quality and no scratches or whatever on the spine. So that means when the paper are measured, so I will show you on the screen. So you see here on the right side, what are the thickness from the last book block. So that means we have 16.4 millimeters book thickness. That was our last part from the A4. So the 3 book blocks what we have stacked. And you see here on the left-hand side, the automatic calculation for the pressure, for the table, and also for the press plate before we cut it. But if you say from the operator side, I have a critical cover, critical paper, so I want to go in an offline version. So it's also possible that you can adjust the pressure. What do you prefer? And you can also save it in the job memories. So I will go back. So, but normally the most customer want to work with automatic calculations. So it's very easy to handle the new machine. On the lower part, we have here a new function. That means we can adjust the deepness from the knife. So we can make it parallel. So when we close the chin, that we can say, for example, we want to go completely deep with the knife so that we have the last sheets are not cutted, for example. And if I adjust it deeper, so the last 2 sheets will be cutted. But it's also possible if you have, for example, sewing book blocks and you have or folding in sheets, and you see on the one side there's a little bit more thicker than on the other side, and you have not a perfect cutting quality. So it's also possible that you can say, for example, on the head side you want to go deeper, or on the foot side you want to go deeper. Both is possible, and also if you have this job, it's also necessary that you can load it or save it in the job memory. And if you have the job after a half year again, so you go with the fine adjustments, what you have done for this job back, and you have the first book in the top quality. So on the, how we work with that one. So we have on the left-hand side, on the lower part from the cutting stick, a servo motor, and that will be adjusted in the height. And we have also the same servo motor or other servo motor on the right side. That means this servo motors on the left and on the right side adjusts the height for the cutting stick. In this screen, we can adjust on the right side the infeed section. That means how often we want to jog the book blocks when we have, for example, 3 books on top, and also the distance in between book by book, so that we can say, for example, if we work with PUR, we need more space or not so many space. Yeah, on this part, we have on the left-hand side the double cut function. So that means you see in this time, we work only with a normal cut. So we cut it top and foot and head trimming in one cut. But if you have, for example, digital print and it's not printed in the middle, so that's also, for example, on the left-hand side, you have a waist from 5 millimeters, and on the right side from 30 millimeters, and you want to have a clean cut without that the spine will broken. Then you can say, for example, I make a double cut, and the machine makes a cut up to 2.8 centimeters. And then you see here 2 millimeters. That means that it's a last cut, the clean cut we called it. And then we have a very clean spine in the final book. Or you can say, in general, I want to have it on both sides. So you have it for the foot and head trimming, and also you can activate it for the front cut. And you see here also, you can adjust it for 2 millimeters or 3. That's up for the operator, what he preferred. On the right side, we have the push out function. That means if we activated that one, so that means if we have a waist from maximum 9.9 centimeters, that is what we can cut it. And that's the same what you have on the guillotine. So if you see I want to push it out in the waist box, then you can say, for example, I want to activate it only for the front cut, but you have maximum waist on the front side. Or you can use also the button or the possibility to have it on all 3 sizes. And the last part in this screen is our new air management. In this air management, we can say how often we blow the air in the waist. For example, if we have a very thin spine of waist, 2 millimeters, and I'm not sure, after 30 books, we see there's a little bit static, so we can say, for example, we need more air time that we blow the waist in the waist box. That is not only the time what we can adjust it, we have also complete new nozzles. So that means a complete new air management. We have one nozzle from the front side that blow the waist and the back side, and on the back side from the front knife, we have also 2 other nozzles and they blow the waist and the waist box. So when we make a changeover, for example, so we want to write a complete new job, then we can say on the left-hand side, the untrimmed book size, the maximum size what we can feed in is 350. Important is the in-sheet length from the book block and also the length from the cover. And you see here under that one, you see the HT elevator and the SS80 are connected. So if you want to run without the binder or with this part, it's also that you can deactivate that one, and then you have only a hand feeding machine from the transporting belt. On the right side, we have the final book size. So that means we can run from A6, that's the minimum size what we can cut it off, up to A4 landscape. And the maximum size what we can cut it finish is 340 by 340. And you see here downstairs, there's for the normal covers, that means we cut our normal covers with a A4 production, what we have done. And important is what we can do in this class on the HD300, that we can make flap covers. So we can produce 6-page covers, books, for example, with 6-page covers. We can produce books with 8-page covers. And the machine allowed us to have a cover overhang here up to 40 millimeters. If you have all these parameters adjusted and also what you want to use, normal covers or flap covers, then you go with the right button to make a changeover from the last job to the next one. Or I make a changeover with the job memory. So I say that is not necessary for me. I want to open the A5 flap cover jobs and say, okay, I want to open that one. The machine asks me, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And then I push the button to change, and the machine comes up with information that I must change, and this time for the flap covers, the table. That is the FTB table. And to open the covers in the machine, we need this part. It's the upper and the lower part, but I must install the upper part. When the book plugs comes in, so we lift up the cover from the top side And in the machine is also the supporter plate, and we open the lower part from the cover. But this one, we must install it. I say, okay, move it back. So at first I take out the A4 cutting table. So when I want to change this cutting table or move table, it's only fixed with one screw. So you loosen the screw, lift up the lower part from the table, take it out, and then we need the flap cover unit. In the machine is a sensor. This sensor looks for the unit, is it installed or not? I will show you when I fix my last screw. So, and you see here on the right side, that is the sensor who's checking if we installed the flap cover unit or not. It's also, for example, when we go back to a 4 or without a flap cover job, so we must take it out and the sensor check, is it in or out? So table, it's only push in the upper part, fix with 2 pins in the lower part, and then I fix the screw. And then I'm ready to make my changeover. So the machine is adjusted. The HG300 have also a status light. So you see in the moment we have a blue one. It's in, yeah, it's ready, but in waiting position or change position. That's up from the operator to say, okay, I want to have it in blue, in yellow, in green, or whatever, and white. Or if we push an emergency button or whatever, so we have a red light. And my colleagues start the production from the binder. So that is also important when you have only one operator, that you can start the system from the binder. And yeah, the machine is ready. And I think Jacek will produce the first books. And then we will see how the machine is working. So in this time, we go book by book into the machine. You see the first books are on the delivery unit. And when you go book by book, it's 300 books per hour, what we can produce. Takes a little bit, but the first books must come out from the binder, and then we lift them up to the elevator. But then the first book goes into the machine. And you see here also the last part from the A4 books. That's the 16.4 millimeters. And when the new book blocks comes in, we'll see the measurement will change. So it moved to 12.9, and that means all the pressure will be adjusted for this book. And the first what we do in the cutting part is that we make the foot and head trimming. You see at first the foot trim and the head trim, or the head trim and the front trim. And then we take it out and open the covers and move the in sheet to the cutting area and make the front cut. And it's also new to the ruler system that we have not that the cutting area moves, so that the machine part here move. And you see also in the lower part, when we go with to make the front cut, that the supporter plate comes up. And that is also necessary when we work, for example, in variable mode, and you have a 5 stample table, for example, installed. That is also that we have a supporter plate. That means we can run variable brochures in this machine. So the last book comes. You see also the green light is flashing, so it's in production, but it's nearly in stop position. And then we have the delivery unit. And this time I make the program so that we work with our normally delivery unit, what is installed in the machine. And you see here, that's a normal standard delivery unit, what is included in the machine. But before we have seen that we have a delivery unit to the left-hand side for the A4 books. Yeah, that's also possible. Or if you say, for example, I have not so many space, but it's also possible that you have the delivery unit in the front. So it's more complex and yeah, it's up from the space what you have in your company. And then I will show you our final product. That is our A5 flap cover book block, front cover, the back side with a flap cover. Yeah, that is our flap cover A5 book.
Thank you, Andreas. And yeah, also thank you, Jacek, for this, let's say, clear presentation. Let me return, thank you. So let me return to the productivity of the HV300. So just to recap. So I will explain, let's say, from left to right. The HV300 can be operated inline, nearline, or as a solo device. So inline connected to a perfect binder, like we showed here, it reaches a cycle speed of 300 cycles per hour. So basically in all configuration. But connected or inline to a BQ500, the HV300 can produce between 300 and 1200 books due to the stacking function before the trimmer on our stacking device SS800, as we have, let's say, described before. So it means multiply books can be trimmed. So in the middle, you can see, let's say, a nearline solution. That means the book stacks can be loaded manually on the conveyor. So in this case, also the HV300 can reach a speed up to 1200 books per hour, depending, of course, on the operator speed, how many books he will load. And the next, of course, on the right-hand side is a standalone configuration with a suction bar feeder. So here the book stacks are placed into the feeder of the HV300 by the operator, and the suction bar feeder feeds book by book automatically to the three-side trimmer. So in this configuration, the HV300 can reach between 300 and 560 books per hour. So in summary, and to mention just a few keywords about the HV300, like its inline capabilities, the unique functions, like for example, the possibility to trim flap covers. Another, let's say, key feature is the productivity in combination with our fork clamp binder, and he's IceLink ready. But I would like to once again point out the flexible configuration possibilities, because in the future, the BQ500 will be expanded with a number of important options to optimize the book preparation for hardcover production. So an automated end sheet feeder, a fully automated Gaza unit, as well as a book block feeder can be connected to a whole system. So the new book block feeder is then able to feed loose sheets book blocks, as well as folded signatures, pre-glued book blocks, and soon book blocks. So these three additional options can be, let's say, upgraded also on the previous or former model, the BQ480 as well. So these options will be available in early 2021. So in order to use this complete system optimally and to monitor the status of the complete system, we now come to our, let's say, next highlight of product presentation, which is our IceLink. So the new I-series of machines features the next generation of automation and cloud connectivity to increase your productivity. So both the newly released Ice Binder BQ500 and Ice Trimmer HV300 can be configured so that the user is getting the most out of their setup. So just imagine your finishing operation is running as usual. Everything seems to be running smoothly and efficiently. But are you sure you're running as efficiently as it could be, or you could be? Do you know if there has been a downtime during a changeover, or let's say extended downtime even? Or do you know if your production line has stopped due to a defective part was not replaced? So our solution, or let's take a look at our solution, is IceLink. So IceLink is a cloud-based subscription service that takes advantages of IoT, so the Internet of Things. It allows you to manage multiple systems and monitor their system or status in real time. So monitor your uptime, validate your throughput, monitor the quality in using IceLink to calculate your overall equipment effectiveness. So OEE, of course, is an important function of total production availability, performance, and quality. So IceLink is a cloud-based subscription service that is scalable to fit the current and future needs. So welcome to the Internet of Things, where all your connected devices are just a click, or I would say touch away. So IceLink enables all Horizon compatible devices to join the Internet of Things and to send their information directly into a cloud. So IceLink enables you to identify causes of lost production and gain insight on process improvements. Preventative maintenance is another strong point of the system. For example, helpful alerts mean that upcoming maintenance can be scheduled ahead of time to reduce downtime and then increase your productivity. So from the dashboard feature, the operation status of all connected machines can easily be viewed in a single glance by the use of a PC, tablet, or smartphone. So IceLink, or IoT Basic, is a workflow solution that allows production analysis and preventative maintenance. And of course, automated setup would also be an option for IceLink in the future, but today we're taking a look at our entry-level version, so-called IoT Basic. But let my colleague Ryder Horn explain about the IceLink, or web user interface of IceLink.
Thank you, Marisa. My name is Ryder Horn, and I'm product specialist for the Horizon GmbH. I want to say also a warm welcome to all the people from all over the world. And so let's start today with the generation cloud-based IceLink, and I want to show you live from our showroom. So I want to open my screen sharing for you now. And we go now live on our showroom machines. So here is the dashboard of the IceLink. So we have here all informations about the machine, necessary information. So here you see the image of the machine, the status of the machine. So now it's a changeover on the BQ500. You see here, if we have to do a maintenance in the next future, you see here the total operation time of today, 15 minutes today operation time, and 155 books are produced on this BQ500. So the performance of Jacek Ducek was 99%. This means when the machine runs, he produces to 99% books on the machine. And here on the bar graph, you see the target of the day and the whole week. So yesterday, here, and today will be automatically updated at the end of the day, so the 30th. So here you see the productivity of the whole week. So let's start, and I want to explain you all necessary informations about the machines. Let's go to devices here and manage devices. So in this screen, you can manage all the devices of your production lines. So here we have all the machines from our showroom. So we have now 17 machines installed. So here you see the Stitchliner Mark III. With the IP address and the software on the machine and so on. Here you can edit the machine, or you can delete the machine, or very important, you have here the error total list. So we go inside this one, and then you see directly which error is on the machine. So you see here the error 100 is now on the machine. So for the past 4 hours, only one error. So let's go to the past 7 days. You will see here, there was 19 errors on the machine. And you can export all the data to a CSV file. That's very important to use it for your MIS systems. And here, the past 12 months. Let's go to this, and you see here 233 errors. So let's close this one. And the next one here is the maintenance. You see here that we set up some maintenance in the HT300. So to change the cutting stick, the knife change, and so on. You can also edit this one, you can done the maintenance, and so on, or delete this one. Let's close this screen. And the next one, very important for you, is the user management. You will see here on the user management that you can set up many users. For example, the production manager or the operator on the machine. And you can have administration rights for each person. So he can change something or not. That's very important for you. And you can name the people and can see at the end what they do on the ice link. Next one here is a KPI, the key performance indicator. So this is what Marisa before mentioned, that it's very important to see the effectiveness of your machine. So let's go to the overall equipment effectiveness. Let's go to a machine. Let's take a stitch liner Mark III here. And here on these lines, you see the effectiveness of your machine. So the yield rate, the performance, availability factor, and the OEE factor. So all the things are showing you how the performance of your machine is. And at this one, you can also export it as a CSV file. Very important also the comparative analysis. Let's go to this one. So here you see the analysis of your productivity of each day of your machine. It's also here the stitch liner Mark III with a blue line, and you see the productivity over the last days or the hours, past days. So let's go to the past 12 months. So the line will change, and you see here the productivity of your machine is roughly 95%. And here you see how it will be, how we count it. So this you will be see here. Okay. Next one will be the maintenance history. Sorry, I forgot something. Let's go back to the comparative analysis. The capacity used, sorry. Here you see the average of other companies. For example, here, the graph shows you how your machines perform to other stitch liners in the ice link. That's very important for you to see how is the machine working in my room, or and the total operation time. The running time is 56 minutes, for example, and the changeover time, it's very low. So it's Mark III, it's very fast. So 1 day and 15 hours stopping time, and the error time, 2 hours, and so on. You can also export this one to a CSV file here. Let's go now to the maintenance history. Here you see all the maintenance which are done on the machine. So the AFV and the BQ480, it's only an example, please don't use it as a normal maintenance thing. But as Marisa mentioned, it's very important to do preventive maintenance. And you can see when the operator done the maintenance and so on. So it's all seen here in the maintenance history. So let's go back to our dashboard. And let's go to our machine here. So this is the AFC 566 FKT in Gelnhausen. So Gelnhausen is a showroom next to Frankfurt. And this showroom is far away. And we also installed there an ice link and installed it on the Gelnhausen AFC machine. And I will now stop my screen sharing and we will go live to the machine.
Ryder, does that mean that we can monitor different machines from different locations?
Yes, it's possible to access the machine data from anywhere via smartphone, tablet, or PC. We can see live now. My colleague Andreas, say hello, Andreas.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you can see on the dashboard live how the machine performs and the status of the machine. So it's a changeover or running. So now he produced some sheets here and the machine is running all the time. And when we go back, thank you, Andreas.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I will go now back to my screen sharing. So we see now the machine is in production, so it's running. And we produced already today 3,742 sheets. And the performance from Andreas is at 100%. That's very good. So let's go over to our stitch liner Mark III. So we see here the error 100. So sometimes an error can come up and you can press on this error button and you will see that the error 100 means on the machine that we have an ACF cover opened. So how to find it? It's very easy to use this function and you don't need a manual, for example. So you can open it very easy and see what to do to prevent that this error will stay a long time. So I will close this one and we will now go live to our machine, and my colleague my colleague Friedhelm will close the cover and will start the machine, recover the error and start the machine. So we produce now an A4 brusher with a 6,000 cycles per hour, as you can see here in the screen, with our new VAC L600 towers, with a new better separation air and so on. Many quality, yeah. So many new functions in the VACL towers. Okay, thank you, Friedhelm. I will go now back to my screen. So back to the dashboard. And we now see the error is recovered, and we see the Stitchliner Mark III is running, and we already produced 924 booklets here.
So Ryder, could you tell us a little bit more about the preventive maintenance? I think we skipped that part quite quick. So let's go through the preventive maintenance again.
Yes, of course. So with the preventive maintenance, you have the possibility to set up and plan to reduce your downtime of the machine. So here we see this yellow spanner. And when I press this one, this say you have to do this maintenance in the next time. So at 60 hours, you have to change your glue. So before the glue lost its adhesive power, we have to change this glue. And we can say, okay, we done the maintenance. Okay, so this light will go down, and we done the maintenance, and this will go to the maintenance history. The same here for the HD300, the red spanner. I will press this one, and you see we have to change the cutting stick regularly. So it's only an example. So at 2 cycles or trimmed books, we have to change the knife, the cutting stick, and we now make 6 cycles. So that means we have to do this maintenance now. And the operator can press this button and say, okay, I do this maintenance, I change the cutting stick before they worn out. Or you have to change your knife after 20,000 cycles. And we have now 230. You can, what I say, you can do this for your production. So when you say they are last 25,000, you can add this in or edit this, and yeah, the warning will come up later. That's possible. So for the operator, it's possible to use a tablet or smartphone to do the maintenance and say it's done now, and have an overview of all the machines you have in this plant. So I will stop my screen sharing now, and we'll go back to, give back the microphone to Marisa. Thank you very much all. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you, Ryder-san, for your explanation of IoT Basic. So we were talking about version IoT Basic, which is available from starting now. Which possibilities we have in the future for automated setup and monitoring, let's say, of all order-related information, I will explain in the next slide. So IceLink is available as a subscription on an annual basis. In the future, you can choose from 3 upgradable versions, including the IoT Basic. And in addition, there are 2 versions like Automation and Enterprise. So you can see here in red is IoT Basic, blue is the functions of Automation, and green is the explaining the functions of Enterprise. So the IoT Basic version includes following features such as machine monitoring, remote support, and KPI analysis. So the automation version enables the integration of a JMF workflow, as well as the integration of a REST API for communication for your upstream MIS system. With the enterprise version, or the data can also be edited and managed, and including, of course, their scheduling. So a fully automatic production control and monitoring of all related or order-related information is then possible. So enterprise and automation will be available from the 2nd quarter of 2021. And one more important thing to mention, the majority of Horizon machines, even let's say already installed in field, can be equipped or upgraded with IceLink. So let me recap on what we saw today. So let me summarize today's highlights of our next level of smart finishing equipment, and of course, what we will come up in the near future. I would like to mention that this is just volume 1 of a web-based product launch, as we are already planning the second session to launch new products and to share, of course, with you what's going on at Horizon. So let me recap once again. You have seen our BQ270 with a robot arm, our newly released ice trimmer HT300, our ice binder BQ500, and we have introduced our cloud-based service solution, IceLink. And of course, we showed the, let's say, important additional options like the end sheet feeder, a gase, and our newly released book block feeder, which all can be configured flexible depending on your needs. So on the right-hand side, you maybe choose a BQ500 with a gase feeder only, or you have a end sheet feeder as a nearline solution. So we also showed you the flexible configurations about the possibility of HT300. So depending on your, let's say, requirement, we can set up the machine on your demands. So we have already reached the end of our virtual event. So my colleagues have been busy in answering the chat, as I can see. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact my colleagues from service and sales at any time. I would like to thank you for taking your time to participate on a virtual live event. I hope we were able to give you an exclusive insight about our new upcoming products into, let's say, how Horizon will drive the future in terms of smart factory. So before we finish, I would like to say, and I think everyone who knows Horizon and our themes of the past 10 years is to say, change the focus. Imagine finishing first means put finishing first in your, let's say, process improvements, consider finishing first, and think smart factory. So also in the name of my colleagues, so I would like to switch the camera once again to the colleagues. So let's say my colleagues behind the scene and also our marketing team, thank you for supporting, for, let's say, having this great event together. So to you as our customers, I would like to say, take care of yourself, stay healthy, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.